Ding dong. Hi, sweetie. How are you?
I'm well. How are you? How are you feeling?
A little better today. Yeah, get on the mend. Thank you for asking. I know.
Sure. You've been still cranking out the video stuff. I'm like so impressed by you.
It's like I had to do it. Hi, honey.
Hello.
I can't wait to see your presentation.
Oh my God.
Or hear your presentation, either way.
I hope you will like it.
I'm sure I will.
Are you nervous, honey?
Not now.
Good.
I was on Monday when you asked.
Monday when I asked you? Oh, this is good. It'll be good because I know that a lot of people are curious about this. Yeah. So it's like 6 Central here now. My son is sick, and my husband's still coughing. So if you hear coughing in the background, like a hospital bed.
Oh.
I'll be glad when this virus leaves the Celeste house. I told Joe to go wrap himself in saran wrap and stay away.
Get one of those SARS masks and wear gloves.
I know it. I felt terrible. Oh, gosh, but I am feeling better today. I'm actually going to leave the house, which I haven't done since Saturday.
That's how I was that week. Did yours come on like really suddenly? Like mine came on really suddenly, and it was like all of a sudden my throat was sore, and all of a sudden it was like downhill from there.
Oh no, mine was like, it's like the post-nasal drip. Hi, Judy. And then but Richard got it first, so I was like, oh, damn it.
Yeah, Jack brought it into the house.
Yeah.
But
Good morning, Judy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
We'll give everybody just a couple more minutes and then we'll get started with Hani's presentation coming up. I know I think as we get to summertime as well, we're going to, people are going to be going on vacation. Like Laura's on vacation. She's on some cruise. I'm sure she's having a great time. I think she comes back this weekend. So she'll be back next week. And somebody else told me, who was it? No, I can't remember. Somebody else is on vacation today too. It's like a big brain fog. It's in the brain somewhere. I'll remember like 8:23. Oh, it was so-and-so. So in the meantime, if you could go ahead and open the chat box. And Debbie's already on the jamming. Go, Debbie. Put your name and email address in there. That's how we take attendance for today's meeting. And today we're looking forward to Hani's presentation about branding. Thank you for at the last minute saying, sure, I'll do that, Jill. And I knew she had something in her back pocket too.
But not in English.
Oh, it wasn't in English.
No.
It's in English.
I suppose you don't want to hear anything in Swedish.
Well, we could, but I'm not sure how much value we get out of it. You know? Interesting.
That would be very interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So you had to translate your slides and everything?
Mm.
Well, now I have an English version. I guess that's not the worst thing, right?
That's great. Mm.
That works out for you. Here comes Connie Joe. Good morning, Connie Joe.
In the house.
Connie's in the house. Our favorite bookkeeper / financial coach is here. Yay. Oh, yeah, she's like, yay. It's too early in the morning for your bubbliness, Jill. Aren't you supposed to be sick? She's not a morning person. But I'm glad you make it anyway, Judy. No excuses. No excuses, right? We come to networking. So we'll go ahead and get started. If more folks join us, we'll just welcome right into the fold. But I want to keep us precious to our time at 8 a.m. Eastern. And here comes Krista. Welcome to Virtual Networkers. It is June 1st. Can you believe it? We're getting toward the halfway point of the year. And it is hopefully warmer weather for most of you. It's been hot in Florida for months, right, Judy?
Yes, it is.
Judy's fan's going. But hi, Krista. Hope you can see. We can't see you yet, just to let you know.
Oh, okay.
There she is. And you're perfect. Don't touch the camera.
Okay.
You got it nailed down. You got like, do you know, can you feel like the perfect position on your camera, Krista.
I guess I'm getting better at it.
Yeah, like
Sometimes I have a volunteer check me beforehand.
oh no, you're good. Just you don't touch a thing. I'm glad you're here. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our elevator speeches / 30-second commercials. So I'm going to start. I'm going to go different. I usually go from left to right, but I'm going to go from the middle over, just to be frisky today. So that means Judy Kane, you are up.
Okay, cool. So I'm Judy Kane, and my business is called Aligned Consciousness. And I help people rewrite subconscious self-limiting beliefs. These generally fall into 3 categories. One is big emotions like phobia, trauma, grief, those types of things that are really debilitating. Or they're when people have goals that their conscious mind is trying to achieve, and they keep self-sabotaging, things just don't seem to work out right for them. Or physical symptoms of stress, because stress causes physical symptoms, and stress is caused by beliefs. So if you can change the beliefs, you can get rid of the stress. And if you get rid of the stress, the symptoms can go away.
That is wonderful. We're all looking forward to learning more about what you do, Judy. Thank you for that. Yeah, excellent. And welcome. I think Mary Beth joined us. Hi, Mary Beth.
Hey, good morning.
Just a reminder for everybody, if you could type your name and email address in the chat box. That's how we do attendance. Thank you. A couple people have already done that. Thank you. So now it's Debbie Keevan's turn.
Unmute myself. Hi, I'm Deborah Keevan, or Debbie of DeborahKeevan.com, where I help visionary entrepreneurs unpack their stories to attract their ideal clients, take them on a journey, and get illuminated.
Illuminated. Ooh, I like that. Yay. We're glad you're here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hani, I know you're doing a presentation, but can you do your elevator speech real quick?
Hello, I am Hanne Brøter from yourbrandvision.com. I am Swedish. I'm Norwegian, but I live in Sweden, and I am a graphic designer and visual brand manager, and I help entrepreneurs and business owners make their businesses look as good as they know they are.
Yes, we're glad you're here. We're looking forward to your presentation today. Krista, you're up next. Caught her typing.
Hi, I'm Krista Janik, Wise Words That Matter. I work with business owners and nonprofits who are frustrated about not getting noticed. They might be experts in their field and they have a lot to share, and they're struggling to get the right messages out to the right people. So I'm sure you've all met folks who they can talk on and on about their field, but they're not necessarily connecting with their audience. So I do copywriting, PR, usually for the web. I work for a variety of different types of clients, and my best mutual referral sources tend to be graphic designers, web designers, other creative professionals, or marketing folks. Krista Janik, Wise Words That Matter.
Thank you, Krista. Connie Jo.
Hello, I'm Connie Jo Miller of Enigma Bookkeeping Solutions, and I am a bookkeeper and financial coach. And I make sure that you have impeccable books that are audit and tax ready. And then I also make sure that you understand your financial statements. And I work with you to try to discover ways for you to save money and increase your profit in your business.
We are glad you're here. Thank you so much. Mary Beth.
Thank you.
Good morning. Mary Beth Ducker with sacredgrove.com. I'm an intuitive animal communicator, and as you know, I have the ability to tune into your animals and let you have a two-way conversation with them. I'm pleased to report that I got a recent testimonial from a rooster. Actually, the rooster's person, of course, Lil Sklinar passed it on. But so I do work with dogs and cats and horses and rabbits as well. Mary Beth, sacredgrove.com, where people and pets heal and connect.
I am jealous because I do not have a testimonial from any animal, Mary Beth, especially a rooster. I love it.
Mary Beth can help you with that.
Yeah, well, maybe I should get Emma to give me a testimonial.
It would be fun.
Yeah, I think we got everybody but me. Is that right? Am I the last of the Mohicans? So hi, I'm Jill Celeste. I'm starting to call myself an authentic marketing coach. I don't know why. That's what I teach. So that's what I'm going to call myself today. I help a lot of entrepreneurs with their marketing. I help them learn how to market their businesses. I help them stay in faith during days when things are a little somber, and cheerlead them when things are going really great. You can visit my website at jillceleste.com for all sorts of information, lots of good blog posts, including a recent one on Instagram. So go check it out if you're interested. So that, I think, is everybody, right? Yep. Good. So we are ready for Hani. So while Hani she's going to do screen share, I'm going to introduce Hani while she gets all that set up. So Hani is actually a Norwegian graphic designer and visual brand manager, but she lives in Sweden. She has worked for many years in an in-house graphic design for a Norwegian media company with a lot of different visual touch points that all had to be on brand. And so she takes advantage of her extensive in-house experience as well as her instinctive ability to identify very closely with her clients. She likes to call herself the visual director of design, which I love, helping clients with all their branding and graphic design challenges, from business cards to websites. And we are so glad you're here, Hani. Go ahead and take the lead.
Thank you, Jill. Can you see my screen?
Yes, you're good.
Oh, that's great. So I'll just get started. Welcome to this presentation. My name is Hanne Brøter, and my business is yourbrandvision.com. I am a graphic designer and visual brand manager. And in this talk, I will give you a very brief introduction to visual branding. We don't have much time, so let's start at once. Most people have an idea about what graphic design is, but when I say visual branding, I can see that people's eyes glaze over and they ask themselves, what is visual branding? So let's first look into what branding is. And branding is something we do in our businesses, organizations, or personally to find, describe, and communicate to the world what makes us different from others that offer the same service or product as we do. There are so many providers of the same kinds of services: coaches, accountants, personal trainers, hairdressers, dentists, the list goes on and on. And if you want people to choose your business, you need to find and describe what makes working with you totally different from working with the next provider. Then you have to communicate this to your ideal client. This communication is very often visual. It is visible. We can see it as in websites, on social media, and in printed materials. Graphic design is how we create all this visible communication. How we use colors, fonts, and images to so-called visual means to strengthen the impression that we want to make. This sounds quite innocent, I know, but the truth is that those visual means have lots of power and can tell very much about your business, sometimes even without you knowing anything about it. Like, for instance, this website that has a lot to say, but do we actually think that this is serious? Visual branding is also about ownership. The word branding is of Scandinavian origin. Brand meaning fire in Norwegian, Swedish, and Danish. And here is the branding iron, the forerunner of a logo that was used to brand cattle to make it possible to see to whom they belonged. And in my work, I see that entrepreneurs and business owners tend to believe that a branding process is something very complicated and expensive that only bigger companies can afford, and dreadfully time-consuming. I don't think so. I will argue that at least 50% of the branding process takes place between the ears of the business owner. This work can be done by the business owner themselves. It just takes a change of attitude and willingness to do some brand research and drill down in the values and vision of the business. I can help business owners start this work, and this will make the entire branding process much easier, faster, and affordable for them. There is plenty of work in a branding process that does not require anything to be made in some kind of graphic software like Illustrator, Photoshop, or InDesign. You will, in fact, get very far with just paper, pencil, and one or preferable 2 to 3 heads. To start a visual branding process can seem a bit like trying to eat an elephant, but it can be done if you just take one bit or step at a time. I have divided the elephant when working with clients on their visual branding. I use an approach based on 9 steps. Going through these 9 steps covers all the essential issues regarding a branding or a rebranding process. In the beginning, this was just a work pattern or recipe, Hanne's brand recipe for myself. I have discovered, however, that involving my clients in this approach and teach them the formula makes it much easier for my clients to follow along and learn some very basic things about visual branding, graphic design, and typography. This process is very logical and gives the client a lot of ownership to their process and final results. I call my method brand boxes. So what's inside these brand boxes? The first row is called brand survey and is comprised of 3 boxes. Number 1, brand research. Number 2, brand project inventory. And number 3, brand map. The second row is called basic brand visuals and features the boxes number 4, logo, number 5, color, and number 6, font. The third row is called brand scope, and the boxes here are number 7, website, number 8, social media, and number 9, print and presentation. So let's take a closer look at these boxes. To be able to brand anything, we need to know exactly what it is. And in box 1 in brand research, we will find exactly who your business is. We will drill down through the layers in the business and find its unique attributes and personality. We will answer questions like these: who are you? What do you do? And not least importantly, why does it matter? Why should I care what you do? In box 2, we make a list of all touch points where your brand is visible today. Later on, we are going to work on establishing a consistent visual appearance for your brand. So it's necessary that we detect all the touch points from the start. And let's talk a bit more about touch points. In the old days, if you had a logo, that would go a long way. You would put the logo on your business card and on your stationery and be good to go. Today, the visual touch points are numerous. Just think of your presence in social media and the materials you use with clients and in your marketing. All these are visual touch points which should be your best visual ambassadors and represent you and your business when you are not there in person, which is most of the time anyway. Sometimes we need to tidy up. By having a spring cleaning among your visual touch points, you will be able to weed out things that are not up to standard. And at this point, you have the opportunity to take stock and decide where you want to be present and go for a consistent look wherever you are. I advise that you gather and print every instance of visual presentation you have today, both online and offline. Lay them out on a table, and this will give you a very good visual overview, and you will very clearly see where action is needed. When things are being left to themselves for years, and the visual profile is non-existent, you can end up with what I called, I think I mentioned it a week ago, the patchwork branding. Patchwork branding is often the result of design being left to different persons and providers over time, with no one in charge and without visual guidelines. In the last box of row 1, we will create a brand map. And this can sound a bit over-ambitious if you are a solopreneur just starting out. However, entrepreneurs love to start new things and innovate constantly. I have had entrepreneurs coming to me in a mild state of schizophrenia after starting one thing after the other by themselves and in partnership with others, and reaching a state where nothing fitted with anything else visually or under a brand umbrella. It was all across the place. Having a brand map from the start can help you avoid this. When we know the core identity and have found the unique, authentic personality of our brand, it's time to translate it into a visual language, the basic brand visuals. In box 4, we work with the logo. The branding iron is a very simple logo. In the 19th and 20th century, logos were very often detailed and intricately drawn. They were, in fact, more full-fledged illustrations than logos, really. The typography, the text, was mostly interwoven with the main motif in a way that made the logo indivisible. This style was in fashion for logos for a long time, and we still see some logos of this kind. New media and technology demand that we design logos differently to what we have done in the past. Logos now need to be flexible and slick to fit in all places of modern use. Today, we think more in terms of a logo ensemble when making a new logo. A group of 2 to 3 elements that can do all the branding job on their own. Think of the Nike swoosh, logotype, and payoff. In logo ensembles, the different parts can also be scaled independently to fit the area where the logo is to be used. Here's another version of the successful solopreneur's logo, modified to sit better on a coffee mug. Color is very important for the brand expression. In box 5, we find the color that best expresses the personality of your brand. And we will learn about what different colors means to us when we see them. We talk about what colors will work well together in different color schemes. It's also necessary for the business owner to be able to identify her colors in a technical manner by color codes for correct use on the web and in print. Lastly, in row 2, we take things literally, and work with fonts. Fonts have the ability to say much more than the words that have been set with them. Look at the fonts here and try to feel what associations you get from them. A business will often need more than one font, one for the logo, one for the headings and display purposes, and one for running texts. They should all say the right things and be well suited to each other. Using the most appropriate font really enhances your message. We have now created a simple graphic profile consisting of a logo, a color, and a font. And in box 2, we arrived at a list of touch points of where we wanted to be present visually. In the last row of brand boxes, we will implement the graphic profile on all our touch points. Implementing. We will use the visual language, our visual language, everywhere we want our brand to be visible. These areas divide themselves mainly between the website, social media, and printed items and presentations made with PowerPoint and Keynote, like the one I am sharing with you right now. When consistently applied across all touch points, the new visual branding have a great effect. I have experienced some outbursts of great surprise when in the end of a process, my clients suddenly see all their things laid out before them. The website, the Facebook page, the brochures, and the business cards, and whatever else I have made for them during the process, and they cry out things like this: "Oh, it's so nice, it all looks so awesome together. I am so proud of my new materials, and I am so inspired to go out and sell." That's when I'm getting very happy. It's working, so that's great. There are, however, some pitfalls regarding visual branding that I would like to mention. It's about who we make the visual branding for. One big mistake people do is to create their visual branding for themselves. But it's not at all certain that your ideal clients love the same colors as you do. You have to know them and even ask them about that. Nor is visual branding and market communication the same as home decoration. When using a color to paint your home, it's mainly to communicate with yourself and your family. You are the end user of that color, but your brand colors are consumed by other people. I sometimes hear sentences like this from my clients: "I like purple, please use that instead. I like bold fonts, please change the font. I like pictures to have rounded corners, please. I like the menu to be green, not blue, please. I like the letters to be much bigger." And I call this the "I like" approach. And it can be very unfortunate in visual branding. Of course, my client has the right to have things the way he or she prefers. And entrepreneurs are certainly used to be the last instance of any decision making regarding their own businesses. But we must not forget the real client, my client's client, who is in fact whom we are making the branding for. It's not about you, it's about them, as someone said. Now we know a tiny bit about what visual branding is. It's time to return to the second question in the title of this talk, and that is, why should you care about it? In my opinion, there are two main reasons why you should care about visual branding. The first one is the one that most people know, and it is the external benefits or the effect of visual branding from the inside out. This is the impression we make on others. You will attract and communicate much better with your ideal client. You will be perceived as professional and serious. The structures of your offerings will be clear, and this is thanks to the graphic design. And your message will be much clearer. The second reason why you should care about visual branding is the internal benefits or the effect of visual branding from the outside in. And this is not so very well known, but it's very important. And how can this be? How can we be affected by our own visual branding? And this is very much like wearing a new outfit. You will be proud when you see that your website and other materials are in perfect visual order. You will straighten your back a little bit more. You will have great self-confidence and dare to take on greater challenges, like the video challenge. You will be safe and you will become happy and have more energy. Regard your visual branding as a valuable business asset that strengthens your own confidence and inspires trust in your clients and customers. Manage the visual branding as you would do any other important area of your business, like economy, social media presence, or customer service. Do not let it slip. Keep track of every visual touch point out there. They are all proud ambassadors for your brand. The best part of my job is when my clients start identifying with their new visual branding. When they see the huge differences before and after the process and start to see themselves and their businesses with the eyes of their ideal clients. Then their own materials suddenly have a very positive impact on themselves, and they can't wait to get out there and show it off to their market. Then what I call a visual confidence starts to grow inside them, and they get, so to speak, higher heels and walk with firmer steps into the next meeting with a new customer or to the next presentation. Thanks for listening. Here's my website and yourbrandvision.com, where you can download a free practical guide on visual branding. And thanks to Jill for asking me to speak. Thank you. I will try to stop sharing my screen now.
Okay, that was awesome. I learned stuff, and I used to be a brand girl.
Thank you.
Yeah, what questions do we have for Hani? You can unmute yourselves if you want. I know one question I always get is, can you do branding yourself? What's your opinion on that, Hani?
Yes, you can do branding yourself if you download my iPhone and keep to the advice, because it's very important. I didn't speak about this at all in the presentation because I don't have the time. I didn't speak on the value and importance of the actual graphic design, and I thought about that when you speak about having professional images on your website. And you can have professional images, you can have the right elements, you can have the right fonts, the right colors, and use everything in the wrong way. So you need to get some advice, have somebody to look at it, to correct things that you do that you don't know that you do wrong. You absolutely can do it yourself. You will learn by doing.
Yeah, And by mistakes probably as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, who has had professional branding of their website? Like, who has had a graphic branding person? Mary Beth has, and Debbie has. Yeah.
I had someone design my business cards, and I had someone design a logo for me, and I got quite a lot of compliments.
Good.
So I think that's the difference in terms of, I think the difference between professional folks who do graphic design, or even folks who are starting out in it. They have a creative eye. They're somewhat of an artist, or maybe all the way an artist. And so they have intuition that other people don't have.
Yeah.
And I tell my clients the same thing, where you can brand yourself and you might be able to come up with a great logo, and that's certainly a possibility. You also might come up with a flop.
It can go either way, that's for sure.
Or at least if you have a professional, you at least have the benefit of their intuition.
Yeah, that's right. And hopefully their skills. I know Hani Hani's trained as a graphic designer, of course, with a practical experience as well. I know when I worked in corporate, I had graphic designers on my team, and they were all 4-year degree graphic designers. And you can really tell a difference between a 4-year degree or whatever, plus person and me trying to do graphics on Canva. I mean, it really is a huge difference. That's for sure. Heidi, I'm going to ask you another question. What is your opinion on using resources like Fiverr.com or Guru.com for finding logo help or things like that?
I don't like it very much. It's not because I don't think that you can occasionally, or you can certainly get good things occasionally out of that. But I have once been, I have been in a competition. I just tried it for once, and the designers spend so much time, and only the winning thing gets paid. So I think this is kind of a sweatshop version of graphic design. And I often compare it to if you would put anything else in your business to anyone that you know to do it, or if you would trust someone who knows your business, because that is very important to make a good logo. It's not done in 2 or 3 emails. You actually have to talk to people and see other things that they have done and know how they work with clients, and they have to work themselves, because a logo is something that grows out of the vision and the values of the business. So when I work with people, they have to fill in, exercises and everything, so I can really get to know what their businesses stand for. And so I think that's the best way to do it on the long term. But of course, you can buy a logo for $5 and get a nice looking visual. But if it's your logo, I don't know. Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
You can go into a shop and buy something prefabricated, but it's not the same as when you have something, tailored for you. Mm.
Yeah, I think what were you going to say?
I was going to say, I think it goes back to the trust factor again, that it's very difficult to trust somebody from Fiverr or somebody from, again, it's about, I suppose many people trust their own intuitions, that if they see a logo they like, that they, okay, that's good, whatever, and you might get lucky that way. But you also might go through a lot of sort of headaches and seeing stuff that doesn't really fit your business.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. Mary Beth, did you have something you wanted to add?
I did. I did go through this process, and you're right. When I worked with my graphic designer, I had to do a lot of internal work about, who's my client. And then he also we sat down and did a lot of talking about who's my client, who I am. And it was work, but it was good work. And I don't think you could get that by just, say, give me the best. Because they don't get to know. He got to know me in a deeper way. And I think what I ended up with it really reflects my core. It's it's really lovely. So I get what you, but I also have to ask, I have to say, I think I need to go back and look at all the stuff I've done since then. It's like the maintenance. I think it's time for me to look and see if I've kind of gotten off track a little. So, clean stuff up. So I really like that point. Thank you.
We go back again.
Yeah. Move me back and in my own track.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, Mary Beth, when you worked with your designer, did he give you a style sheet so you know what colors you're supposed to be using, your fonts?
He did. He said, "No, keep using this." And I've given it. We used it with my. He worked with my website designer, and we've also used it for brochures and things like that.
Yeah,
great.
Your book cover too, right?
Yeah, he actually painted it. It's in the back here, so
it's gorgeous.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we all had this book cover. We all had to write books, and I think Debbie maybe. I don't know if Debbie was in it yet.
Yeah,
Mary Beth and I were all in this. We're in the same business school. We all had to write a little book, a little book. So mine's That First Client, and it has a nice logo. We're all like, oh, so proud. And here comes Mary Beth with this illustrated gorgeous. And I'm like, I've got total envy. I thought my butterfly was good, and here comes Mary Beth with this.
I don't know if you can see it.
Gorgeous. There it is.
Of course,
it doesn't even do it justice how beautiful that is.
I don't know, but it's a watercolor painting. The guy did just because we like each other.
It's gorgeous. No, it was one of the most beautiful book covers. So anyway, Debbie, I saw your hand up. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I just wanted to say that it's interesting because when I very first started my business, I had a Fiverr logo, and it was so frustrating because I had a logo, but it didn't really capture who and what I was. And so I went through a similar process to what Hani described. And it took, a good 3-4 months from start to finish. But I love my logo. I love my visual branding, but I'm like Mary Beth in that, I was really admiring your presentation, Hani, because it was every bit of that presentation was branded and it fit, and all the colors, the images, it was very cohesive. And I just think I'm like Mary Beth. I got to kind of look at that piece because I don't have that, and I sort of make it myself. Very beautiful.
Thank you.
It was very, and I was having a PowerPoint envy as well. I was having a lot of envy this morning. Sorry. Any other thoughts, questions, anything we can pick Hani's brain with? It was a great presentation. I hope everybody learned a tidbit or two or more. If you don't have your stuff professionally branded, designed, I'm sure Hani would be delightful to help you. I'd be delighted to help you. Hani, real quick, what type of referrals are you looking for? What kind of clients are you looking for so that we can keep the ear to the ground for you?
Yes, as I said last time, I have worked quite a lot with coaches and trainers, solo entrepreneurs, and so I know that this works quite well. But I recently had to work for a woman who builds factories.
Oh,
and that was a new experience. But I realized when I worked with her, as she is the CEO and owner of this factory, and she has lots of employees. But in the end, she is like us. She's just doing something else. She is building a factory, and we are doing something else. So, and she has the passion, and she's passion driven. So I think that's the key word, really, passion driven entrepreneurs. Yes.
Yeah. And congratulations to a woman building a factory.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah. Love that.
Not one, but many. That's what she do.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. And of course, because you're virtual, you can work with anybody no matter where they are in the world, which is nice as well.
Yes, I have some problems with the time zones when it gets too far east. But
you're good. I know.
But as you know, I just appreciate the 6 hours I'm ahead of you. It gives me
done where we're sleeping.
I have some slack because you are still sleeping when I start to work in the morning. So that's great. I love people in Eastern time zone.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for that. And remember, this is a recorded presentation. So if you need to hear something, or I don't know, like what did Hani say? Remember, I will send this out to everybody later this morning, so you have a copy of it, and also you'll have it too, Hani, if you want to share it with your tribe. And now you have it. And by the way, I don't know if people heard Hani at the beginning, because I asked her on Monday to do this presentation, and because I knew she had one, but what I didn't realize is that she didn't have it in English. She had it in, what language was it? Swedish.
I have one in Swedish and one in Norwegian. Yes, it's slightly different. Mm.
She had to convert her entire presentation into English. And I gotta say, you did an outstanding job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I hope there wasn't any Swedish words left in the graphics, because I tried to weed out all the Swedish words, but I'm not sure I have.
I didn't see any.
No, okay.
I didn't see any. Yeah. So now you have the English version, so you can use that. So there's the goodness in there. So
that's great. That's great for me. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you again. We appreciate it. Is anyone interested in doing a presentation, just like Hani did? If you have something, Debbie and Connie Jo have already done one. Mary Beth have already done one. Krista or Judy, if you have something, I would love, especially if you have something. We don't know your business all that well. And I'm going to have Debbie, Connie, Jill, and Mary Beth do theirs again, because some of you weren't around during that. So we'll do that. But if anytime you just, sooner the better, just email me or send me a message. You all have my email address because I email you. Just let me know. And then another thing I'd like to do in the future is something called speed networking. But doing it virtually. So not next week or anything. This will take a little bit of time, but because I've upgraded my Zoom, I have the ability to put people in breakout rooms. So what I thought would be really cool is, have an event like we did the open house where there were a lot more people, and put people in rooms of 2, and you network, and then I switch the room on you, and you get somebody else, and you network, and you switch the room with somebody else, and you can speed network right from the webcam. So does that sound like something that would be kind of fun and different? What do you all think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, something to try. I'm just always trying to do something. Go ahead, Krista.
I definitely think it's a great idea. I am kind of wondering where all the people will come from, because I've noticed that a lot of the meetings, that we haven't had large attendances. So I am curious how that's going to work out.
Yeah. That's a great point. When people tend to come when there's an event. I got an open house, we had a lot of people, right? So it'd be something.
We had more people, yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say a lot, but we definitely had more people.
We had a lot more people. And then also.
I guess part of it too is that I'm used to physical networking groups where sometimes you'll have, multiple groups getting together and you'll have like 100 people.
Yeah.
Not that that's necessarily better, because like you say, the breakout rooms, the one-on-one conversations really make the difference.
Yep.
But it does kind of allow you to
meet a lot of people, right?
Yeah. To kind of try to find the people that you can connect with.
Awesome. Yeah. And I would say too, the onus is on all of us to invite people and bring people to this meeting. Make sure that, because again, this is seat specific. So like, we don't have a health coach. We don't have a life coach. We don't have anyone who sells products, jewelry. So, we have Debbie, we have Connie Jo. Krista, are you going to join? Thinking about it?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I really, like I said, it is a rather small community for the fee. I really don't.
So maybe
I'm not sure.
Hold it tight, So we'll have, maybe Krista. We have Mary Beth. We have Judy. We have Hani. We have another Judy who's a VA. So we're looking for coaches.
Okay.
So any kind of coach besides a marketing coach and financial coach. Judy's is super cool. It's its own energy psychology. So don't pick somebody like that. But we could use life coach, health coach, Mindset coach, is that too close to you, Judy?
No, because I don't do coaching. I just help
that's
people
right.
change the belief.
Yeah,
And
you're more
they need somebody else to work with the behaviors and stuff.
Yeah. So mindset coaches, help me out, guys. I'm drawing a blank.
I've mentioned it to a success coach.
Love it. Success coach.
She's in Brazil for 3 weeks, but she was interested in checking it out once she comes back into the country.
Okay, well,
I put it out there on Facebook, but when you actually had a Facebook event, but people hadn't responded to that. And since then, I haven't had any social media posts that I could share to let people know because it's all come through email.
Are you following the Keep It Local Facebook page? Because that's where I post it.
I'm not really sure, and just following the page doesn't necessarily mean anything because you know how that works. It doesn't necessarily show up in your, so maybe if you add the link to the emails.
Sure, I can absolutely do
that. Then it would be easier for people to
absolutely great idea
to automatically invite, to just, by the way, click here to invite your friends so we'll have a bigger.
Yeah, I love that, Krista. Thank you. I'll absolutely add that.
I've got a nutrition coach
nutrition coach.
And also post in that event with the open house, maybe post some things because you still have us as a captive audience. We're all still going to get notified if you post there.
Yes, that's right.
So that's been dead since the event, but and to kind of remind us to, follow your page and.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, we definitely activate that a little more. Who else? What else? Travel agent. Don't have a travel agent. A lot of them do remote work. Any type of consultant, any type of, anybody who works with anybody virtually. Like there's no geographic bounds to what they do. They can work with people no matter where they are. So even like tutors, so people tutor over online, that's another option. So
voice coach.
Yep. Unfortunately,
I know a voice coach.
You have a voice coach?
I know a voice coach.
Oh, you know one. Yeah.
Yeah. He's very good.
So, the more people we can, so I can preach this all day long, but my tribe is only this. You guys have no different people than me. So if you can help me by, asking people just to check it out and see if it's, see if it's worthwhile. And if not, hey, that's all right. Not everything is a good fit. I totally get that.
I even invite, I don't know, we invite her, but she a hypnotist, because I said, can you do things locally? I mean, virtually? And she said, yeah. So,
yeah, absolutely.
I'll re-invite, but this is a good time because I'm writing down some names.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody you can think of that's not you, that's not already represented by the wonderful people here. And, we also need like a LinkedIn expert. We have Laura, but she doesn't hold a seat. She floats in and out. She doesn't hold a seat. So we still could use someone who might be an expert, and even I would love.
What is this about a seat? I don't really get it.
So a seat is basically when you join Virtual Networkers in whatever profession you are, you lock that seat in, which means nobody else. So we won't have two health coaches. We won't have two marketing coaches. We won't have two bookkeepers. So Connie Jo is a member. Connie Jo is a bookkeeper / financial coach. So I would never let in another bookkeeper. She holds that seat.
Got it. So guests can attend, but they won't be able to join if it's the same industry as a current member.
Right. I would often refer them over to the other Virtual Networkers group and see if they have an opening there. And often we can accommodate them in the second group. So there's options, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to scare anybody off. I want them to do the thing. But I would love like someone who's just an expert in LinkedIn. Someone who might be just an expert in Facebook ads. I mean, like really drilling down to some certain specialties. That would be a lot of fun.
The other thing that kind of made me interested in joining was that I have access to the other virtual network group because I'm a member of this group. And that's a different crowd because Jen hosts that out of Colorado. So
different people.
Different people, yeah.
Oh yeah, when was
It's also growing, but
one was Monday,
but it's
right?
a start, and so.
Yeah, that one's on Monday, and she's adjusting the time. I just saw her say she's moving it Monday. I want to say it's Monday, 2 p.m. Eastern. Does anybody?
I think that's true.
Yeah. So let me confirm that, and I'll let you all know. So if you already are a member, you can go there. Krista, that might be a good place too to check out as well for you if it's a good time for you. Of course, that's always the thing.
Yeah, it hasn't been yet, but that could change.
Oh, okay, cool. So
But it hasn't been a good time, but my schedule changes too.
Yeah, right. So I'll check with Jen Flynn. For those of you who don't remember, Jen Flynn's the one who did the sales presentation for us during the open house. So she's the other chapter president. And another thing is anyone can open another chapter. We would love more chapters. So if you say, I love this concept, but I don't want to come Friday morning or whatever, that there's always that option as well. So just to let that. So
how does everybody mixed? The part I'm not getting is because we're 7 people. So the part I'm not really seeing is how everyone, I mean, obviously there are more than us that I've met so far, and that some of whom I've connected with elsewhere. Mm-hmm. But how do we all meet all of the others and also the people who aren't even coming to the meetings? Because you said that there are some other folks who are members who are not coming to these virtual gatherings at the moment.
Right.
So how do we then how do we meet them?
Through the Facebook group. So when you become a member, you get access to 2 Facebook groups. You get access to a Virtual Networkers Facebook group, which, by the way, if you're not a member, I sent you an email about it. Go and let me know if you need the link again. So there's a Virtual Networkers only. So that's all the Virtual Networker members. And then there's the Keep It Local. So Keep It Local is the big umbrella that we fall under. That's where the 500 members are. And so you would be added to those groups once you become a member of the organization.
Okay, so the Keep It Local is the public group. Yes. And then the Facebook, the other Virtual Networkers is the private group. And how many are in the so the public group everyone has access to?
Yeah.
And then the private group
is just virtual people.
Got it.
Yeah.
And then the public group, are people networking within that group? Are they connecting offline?
It just started. So is always that beginning growing pain. But when Laura gets back from her cruise,
right,
she's going to, we're going to work on a plan to.
Right. See, my opinion is that $175 is not a growing pain price.
Well, that's certainly up to you. Right. I know, like other networking groups are way more money.
Right. Absolutely. That's also true.
Yeah. So it's up, it's a personal choice. That's for sure. So let's go ahead. We have 4 minutes left. I want to do announcements before we sign off for the weekend. So this is your opportunity to share something that you are doing, ask for a referral, anything like that. And if you don't have an announcement, that's perfectly fine as well. So let's start. Krista, do you have anything you want to announce?
Yes, I'd like to announce my upcoming free interactive webinar about getting noticed online and in traditional media. So we will talk about branding in a different way that Hani discussed. We'll do some interactive exercises about finding your niche. And as you describe your business, I can help you to make it come more alive. So my webinar, I'll post the link in the in this chat group for Get Noticed Now. It's going to be on June 28th at 4 p.m. Eastern.
Cool. Very cool. Thank you very much. Connie Jo, any announcements?
No.
All the anticipation there. I was like, whoa, Connie's got something.
I had to find my unmute button.
Well, we have a good weekend.
No announcements today, no.
Awesome. Mary Beth?
Now, currently my website is down and we're working on it, but I've got a program called UConnect, and it's to teach people the basics of how to communicate with their own animals. It's not to turn them into a professional communicator. If you know anybody who might be interested and you might just do an email introduction, that I would absolutely appreciate. And Honey Joe, I got to laugh. After it took you a while, and I went and moved my hand over and put my little cursor on the mute button, so I was ready.
It's sort of the equation of when you're at the networking meeting and you got to push your chair back. And one meeting I go to, the chair just never goes back gracefully, so we're all kind of like before we stand. It's the same thing. It's just now where the heck is the mute button? Thank you, Mary Beth. We'll certainly keep our ear to the ground for you. Judy, any announcements?
I don't have any events planned right now, but I'm always looking for coaches to partner with because, like I said a little bit ago, I don't do the behavior stuff. I just do the beliefs. So when clients are stuck, the coaching can go a lot smoother if you can get rid of some of those subconscious beliefs that are blocking whatever the goal is.
Amen. Absolutely. So Judy's email's in there. So if anyone wants to connect with Judy or vice versa, I would love, because guys, set up coffee dates, virtual. You just do it through Zoom. That will help you as well. Hani, any announcements? Hani said, I'm done with you people. I've talked.
I have no announcements.
Thank you again for the presentation. It was really awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Debbie, what you got?
I have two things. The first is I just want to celebrate. I found out this week that a poem that I wrote will be published in Stanford University's literary journal. And so that's like my first really big publication. And I'm not a poet, but this is being published. So I'm very excited. It's called 133 Palms is the name, which is a famous building on Stanford's campus. So yay, just want to celebrate.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And the second is I am running a very small group coaching program, which really will help people unpack their own stories and heal from the experience. If anyone has any shame or it's just stuff they're holding back. So if you hear somebody saying, I'm stuck, but it's really about writing and healing and then getting clear about their story. So I'm launching that very small group coaching program.
You feel free to put the link in the box for us. And I am hosting a mid-year planning day on Thursday, June 14th, Flag Day. I know some of you already are signed up, so thank you. This is your opportunity to plan the rest of the year, because I don't know about you, we did the planning, or maybe you didn't, at the beginning of the year, and now we're getting toward June, and maybe we haven't looked at our marketing plan, or maybe things have shifted in our business, we've gotten some clarity. So now it's time to kind of circle the wagons around and maybe see what's new and different and plan out the rest of 2018. So I will put the link in the chat box if you're interested in checking that out. And I would love to have you if that feels like the right thing for you. And thank you for those of you who are already committed. So there's that. So we are meeting next week, 8 a.m. Eastern, same bat time, same bat channel. Feel free to invite people. We, as I mentioned, love to have some new faces. We can rope them in and show them how awesome we all are. So I hope everybody has a great weekend. Look for my email later today. Thanks for all the great feedback as well. So I'll see you all later. Bye.
Bye. Take care.